Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? My name is Denanu, the man with the biggest and the most blackest privilege on YouTube. And with this video here, we're going to be talking about the new Deadpool trailer that just released, I want to say like yesterday, maybe day before, day before yesterday. But with this here, there really isn't a whole lot to say about it. It's more of the same, which one, of course, the Deadpool is, a good thing. I mean, as a comic book fan, I can't really look into this and be like, oh man, Fox is fucking up. I mean, it's more of the same that you got with the first one. So, I mean, if you like it, if you like that, then great. If you don't, then this is probably not the movie for you. It's pretty much the storyboard trailer that I guess lets you know what the premise of the movie is. Nothing really too fancy. You don't get to see like who the main big bad guy is. Because going by the trailer, they make it seem like it's just Cable versus Deadpool, but I think it's gonna be a little bit more than that. I think it's gonna be one of those situations, just like you see in the comic books and with the X-Men cartoon. It kind of reminds me like when Bishop came back in the cartoon to kill Gambit, and then he ended up working with the X-Men because it was something else going on. I think it's gonna be something like that, with Cable, because in the trailer it makes it look like he's coming back to kill this kid and that's it, but I think it's gonna be a whole lot more than that. Usually every time Cable comes back in the comic books, it's something else along with it. Like he'll come back for one specific thing to stop something that happens in the future. But what I think is gonna go on in this movie is, I think that he's coming back to kill the kid to prevent, mutant apocalypse or whatever, right? But maybe it's somebody else using the kid, and maybe he's gonna come back, fight Deadpool for like half the movie. And then they're gonna figure out who's gonna use the kid to do something in the future to mess things up, and then that's when they're gonna team up to go after, them. Maybe it's that the MRD of Deadpool 2, but who knows at this point. I think that they have somebody that they're not showing. As far as funny things I can point out, I mean, I think the most funniest thing in the trailer that I've seen was, I think he was sword fighting somebody in a strip club, and you seen him with heels on. I thought that was pretty cool. Movie Deadpool has always been, I guess, how would I say this? Bland compared to the comic book version. The only thing that I wish that they would bring into it is, I know they had a lot of fourth wall breaking with part one. I would rather see a Deadpool monologue with himself, because that's something you see in the comic books, not all the time, but some of the time, where he'll just straight up just have two internal voices talking to each other. One is him and one is another one. And, that sometimes could lead into a storyline and sometimes it can't. So, but in the movie, they didn't really touch on that. It was just him narrating for the audience for the most part. So it seems to me like they're not doing a one-to-one translation of the character. They're just doing like a parody movie version kind of sort of thing, which is fine, but I just want them to dive more into it. I don't want him to be, I guess I don't want him to be a one-dimensional character or a one-note character, because there's only so long you can ride that train. You did it with the first one. It's like, it seems like they're doing it the same thing with the second one. So if they plan to make a third one, which I assume they do, or maybe even a fourth one, depending on what kind of story they could build into its own franchise. But it's one of those things where I don't want them to run out of material to work with. And they seem to try to hit all the same notes. Which is fine. Like I said, if you like the first one, then this movie is going to be more for you versus somebody who didn't. So I just don't want them to just blow the load on this one, and then you get to the third movie and it's like, oh well, what do we do? The same thing? It's like, nah, come on, change things up a little bit. Maybe that's what they're doing with the whole X-Force team. Still don't like Domino. That's just a personal thing with me. I liked her with the all white skin in the comic books, since that was a part of her mutation and all, versus this where it's just like, oh, we're just trying to be different and be, that kind of sort of thing. So it seems like it's more of like a SJW type thing, and that's something I don't want in my comic book movies. Like if she's already an established character, then make the character if that's what you're doing. But I'm curious to see who everybody else is. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I had their names or if they had comic book outfits in the movie, I could just narrow down who they are just based on how they look. But since Fox doesn't really like superhero outfits, it's kind of hard to figure out who Terry Crews and who everybody else is. You know, because hell, even I think Negasonic Teenage Warhead is in the movie, and she doesn't look nothing like her comic book counterpart. So I'm curious to see who they're going to throw on this X-Force team. Kind of hurt that they kind of wasted the name on some nobodies for the most part, you know, instead of having, you know, the real X-Force team. But, you know, who knows? You know, maybe Marvel, you know, might do something with that later on down the line, or make an X-Force movie once they get all the rights to the characters and everything. But like I said, there really wasn't much to talk about. I mean, this was just pretty much the storyboarding action shot trailer of the movie. I think the only other jokes that that really appealed to me, I think it had you had a couple shots of the X Mansion in there of like Ryan Reynolds spinning around in Professor X's wheelchair. Thought that was pretty cool. I thought I seen a shot of like the Blackbird spinning around in the sky, so I don't know if he's gonna be stealing the Blackbird to do donuts in the sky above the X Mansion, but I'm hope so. I'm trying to think of anything else that really stood out, and so far, I mean, it's just more of the same. Oh yeah, one last thing. That handgun move that he did where the guy shot through his hand and then he grabbed the gun, cocked it with his hand, and then turned around and shot the guy. Really impressive. Fox is stepping up their game with that. Liking that a lot. But anyways, fellas, that's just been my opinions on the Deadpool 2 trailer. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. My name is Denanu, the man with the biggest and the most blackest privilege on YouTube, and I will see you guys in the next one.